The funniest moment of the NVC was not funny at the time. The first NVC championships was to be held at a home up in the mountains. This was late April, it was a beautiful day until the afternoon came in which we got hit by a rogue April snowstorm. It was so bad that the first bus that we sent up into the mountains started careening side to side so much that people who were on the bus insisted that the bus stop, that they would get out and walk the rest of the way themselves in the snow. The bus radioed down to the rest of us that we were stuck and could not take another bus up to the mountains because it was just getting too dangerous. Entrepreneurs being entrepreneurs, the mentors, the supporters around the bus said, don't worry about it, get in my car, I can take 4. I've got a 4Runner, I'll take 4. I've got an SUV, I'll take 4. And everyone just sort of figured it out, found our way up into the mountains, and the first NVC championships occurred in a blizzard up in the hills, and we all lived to tell about it.
Hello out there in NVC land.
The New Venture Challenge is the campus-wide business plan competition.
We're here to revolutionize the student experience.
We've learned so much formulating a business plan.
In 3 weeks, we've raised over $63,000.
We are actually named the Startup of the Month in August by Built in Denver.
I've spent my entire life trying to fuse music and technology together.
That's where Blue Star is revolutionizing the scalp cooling market.
We specialize in delivering actionable intelligence for precision agriculture.
It's not too late to join the NVC.
When I think of NVC, I think of empowerment.
It is completely energizing.
Panic. I managed to create agreements where I was not the one pitching.
Opportunity.
Collisions.
River rafting, because there's portions of smooth water where everybody is rowing together. There's portions of really exciting, terrifying moments.
It inspires dreams.
I just have this incredible feeling of pride when I think about Senior Venture Challenge, thinking about such humble beginnings and what it's become. Every year we've taken a company, so Devin and Leanne were 2014, Jackie and Andrea with Revelar in 2015. In 2016 we took Free and For Sale, which went through the Senior Venture Challenge, and then this year in 2017 we took Stateless. That's one a year. So my question is, which one am I going to take this fall? Because it's been such a consistent pipeline for us, and really amazing companies and amazing entrepreneurs.
I feel like the NVC is a campus miracle, and the fact that we're entering our 10th year, I'm extremely proud of that.
What's up, Boulder Theater? Woo! Grab my handy clicker here. Welcome to Championship Night. My name is Allie LeBeau Greenstein. Welcome. I'm the director of the New Venture Challenge in its 10th year. This is a huge year for us, and we're very excited to bring it back to the Boulder community. I think it's been a decade since we were in that house in the mountains in our championship, so we're really excited to be off of campus and back in the community. Because this is our 10th year, I just want to take a minute to thank all of the people that helped us get here. There's a lot of work that went into, actually I'm going to go back a slide, hey. There's a lot of people that helped us get here over the past 9 years. So I just want to give a chance for us to give a round of applause for anybody in the audience that helped get us to this point. So if you're an alumni of the NVC at any point, so if you participated, if you were a mentor, if you were a sponsor, if you're one of our amazing campus partners, everybody please stand up. I want to see how many. I can't see that well, but I want to see how many people. There we go, yeah. Woo! So without all of your help, The NVC would not be where it is today, and I cannot stress that enough. So just be really proud of yourselves because you helped get us here, and tonight's all about celebration because we got a decade, which is crazy. I also want to take a minute to thank a lot of the people that helped us get to this point this year in particular. So Terry Fees, Vice Chancellor of Research and Innovation, yeah! Our Provost, Russ Moore, who's also here tonight, woohoo! Sarah Beth Burke, the Director of our Innovation and Entrepreneurship Initiative. She did a ton of work, yeah. Allison Moran, our amazing intern extraordinaire, couldn't have done it without her. Woo! Brad Bernthal, the Director of the Entrepreneurship Initiative at Silicon Flatirons. Yeah. And of course, our NVC OG, he's an original gangster. And of course, all of my volunteers tonight. Just in the past 2 hours, thank you so much. I think I might have had a heart attack. So thank you for all of your help. Really appreciate it. Couldn't do without you guys. Yeah. So next up, I also want to thank all of my track and prize leaders. They are a massive part of the NVC. They really manage everything kind of in the spring semester until I get to this point. I want to thank Tanu Mathur, our Women's Entrepreneurship Prize leader, our Social Impact Prize leaders. There's a lot of them, so hold on a second. Mariana Menge, Chris Schroep, Carlos Pena, and Billy Shea. Yeah. I want to thank our creative track leaders, Jeff Nitch and Nathan Schneider, our general track leaders, Sarah Bean, you can just keep clapping or wait till the end, whatever you want. Sarah Bean Duncan and Bart Emery, our IT track leaders, Dave Camerucci, who was NVC 9 director and amazing, yeah. And Mackenzie Galvin, and then our R&D track, and Marta Zagagich, I checked, and Richard Hale. Thank you to all of our track and prize leaders. Couldn't have done it without them. All right, so next I want to thank all of our sponsors. We've got our in-kind sponsors, Elevations Credit Union, Dojo 4, Galvanize, Shinesty, and Poindexter. Not only did they dedicate space, products, and swag, in particular Shinesty, thank you, but they gave us they gave us a little extra lift and a lot of help with our our track finals, so really appreciate it. Next, we have our big cash sponsors. So, of course, Zayo, very excited and really happy to continue that relationship with them. They're an amazing partner. Yeah, woo, Zayo! I want to thank the City of Boulder. They are sponsoring our Audience Choice Award tonight, so very exciting. Woo! And then, of course, I have some very special thank yous. So we have $100,000 that we are giving away tonight. Yeah. That is huge. It is a ton of money. We're so excited. So that, of course, is a very special thank you to Brad Feld and Amy Batchelor. And yes. And then also from Cindy and Dan Caruso from the Caruso Foundation. So a massive round of applause for them. Thank you, guys. And with that being said, I have a very, very exciting announcement. So they have both confirmed that they will be renewing their 100K guarantee next year. So that's amazing. Woo! But we have a very exciting announcement. They're going to match any other sponsorships up to $50,000. So what that means is that we could possibly have $200,000 to give away next year. That is huge. So I am going to make a shameless plug right now. If you are interested in being a part of that match, please email me at cunvc.colorado@colorado.edu. Love to talk to you. And just a huge round of applause and a very big thank you to the both of them. We really couldn't run this program without them. All right. right, so one thing I want to point out is there are 120 ventures that participated this year. That is massive. And I can't stress enough that NVC is not a finish line, it's a launching point. So just because teams aren't at championships tonight, and even the teams that are at championships tonight, this isn't the end. There are tons of things that they can still do. So one of the things that I want to ask everybody to look into is you can apply to Catalyze. So Catalyze is our on-campus equity-free accelerator. We also have customized mentorship, and applications are due this Sunday night at midnight. So if you're interested at all, please go to the website, and also you can go out to the front. You can ask Becky or Kyle Judah about questions. The other thing too is you can attend Startups to Students, which is actually tomorrow night. It is put on by HacksEU, and it is HacksEU. It's a great opportunity to get a job in this amazing Boulder startup community that we have just in our backyard. Another thing you can do is you can apply to the MD5 Hackathon this weekend. You can also enroll in our entrepreneurial classes or workshops at CU, and then of course apply again for next year for NVC. We've got a lot of money, so it's a great opportunity. So I just can't stress enough that tonight is not the end, it's just the beginning, and I just want to really encourage everybody to keep working, keep pushing, and be proud of how far you've come. So yeah. Round of applause for all the teams that competed this year. All right, so the rest of the night is going to be kind of sectioned off into three things. We're going to have the big pitches. So there will be 5 minutes for every team, and then you'll also have 5 minutes worth of judge feedback from the judges. And so super exciting. The next thing is we're going to do a new thing this year. It's our audience choice lightning pitches. So what this means is we have 4 teams. They're going to have 2 minutes each, and then you, the audience, gets to vote on who you think deserves the audience choice prize, which is $1,000 cash. So then the last thing is the awards. So we have 3 awards that are traditional for NVC that we're giving away to some of our campus stakeholders. And then we also have the big awards. So the pitches will announce who the audience choice winner is, and then we can all go and celebrate afterwards. So yeah. All right, so next up, I want to introduce Brad Bernthal. I don't know if he really needs an introduction to who he is, but Brad is the Director of Entrepreneurship Initiative at Silicon Flatirons and is also the original OG NVC master. So Brad, come on stage.
How are we doing now? This is so cool. And many of you, like me, have been putting the bricks down to build this institution, and so thank you. It's my honor to introduce tonight's participants. First, the companies, and then the judges. For those of you who've been with us, you know that from the outset of the New Venture Challenge, we've had 3 goals with the NVC. First, collapse the campus. We believe that cross-functional teams often come up with the most useful and most valuable ideas. And so we try to bring the geeks, the business people, the artists, the folks from liberal arts and science together, people that don't otherwise get together on campus except for football and basketball games. That's who's in the room at the NVC. Second, we inspire entrepreneurship across the campus. Moving from, hey, wouldn't it be cool, to building a real company is incredibly hard. And yet, creating something from nothing is one of the most amazing things that people do. And so the NVC supports and inspires the crazy people that you are about to meet tonight who are creating new things across campus. Third, we connect the town and the gown. We connect up a world-class research university with a world-class place to start a business. Which brings us here. If you're lucky enough to be around a place for a while, you start to see some ghosts. And coming tonight, I could see Nicole Glaros and David Cohen and the early days of Techstars demo days. I could see past Boomtown companies up here. I could see Sue and Elizabeth from Merge Lane. I could see Jason Mendelssohn's band rocking a startup event up here. There are some great ghosts. This is sort of like the Carnegie Hall of the Boulder entrepreneurship scene. And it is awesome to have the New Venture Challenge here. All right, ready for the intros. Let's start it, maybe a little clap. CU alumni, Shinesty is in the house. Batting leadoff. Out of the information technology track, this company makes the recipe book for 21st century beauty community. Someday she will make me look pretty. Please welcome Deekshitha and Rachel, founders of Beauty Book. Next, out of the creative industries track, this venture aims to bring marketers in the cannabis industry to new highs. Lisa, Courtney, and Victor, founders of CMA, the Cannabis Marketing Association. From the research and development track, this robotics company rocks out with biomimetic motion. We will all act like we know what that means. Eric, Nicholas, Christoph, Shane, Tim, the team behind Hazel Artificial Muscles. Hailing from the general track, this company beats to a different drummer. Their rings turn color into sound to make the entire world of colors into your instrument. Stephen, Jack, Jenna, Zane, the team behind Spectrums. Coming in as tonight's wild card, this company is making the world's legislative information productive and navigable. Carl, Alexander, and representing the team tonight, Keaton, they are State Hill. Participating in tonight's audience choice pitches, this team puts the smarts into your house's dumb vents. Daniel and Connor are behind the company, Hearth. This company reinforces the habit of monthly breast self-exams. My notes say that this joke has been removed by CU administration to avoid liability. They are Lauren, Miriam, Julia, Sienna, Amelia, and Rachel. They are Norma! This vegan food company manufactures tasty, healthy, and eco-friendly goodness under the brand Good Milk. Come on up, Abe, founder of Vegan Arc. And this company creates new music to help people run in time and to maintain a high step frequency. Annika and Thomas, founders of Operation Cadence. Finally, tonight's judges. Maybe. All right, we're going to leave it there. This judge picks winners for Creststone Capital, a Boulder-based multifamily office with $2 billion in assets under management. She is the director of investment research at Creststone. Help us bring out Abby Barlow. This judge runs Partner Group's Denver office. He is co-head of Private Equity Integrated Investments Americas, making his first NVC judging appearance, perhaps to the music that he chose. Please help me welcome Anthony Shantz. Was that it? This judge was appointed to Governor Hickenlooper's cabinet in January of 2017. She oversees a host of programs that supports business development throughout the state of Colorado. She is executive director of the Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade. Please help me welcome Stephanie Copeland. And finally, this judge has over 20 years of experience in the VC and technology industries. He literally co-wrote the book on venture deals. He is my co-teacher in venture capital here at CU. He is my friend. He is the managing director of Foundry Group. Please help me welcome Jason Mendelson. There are 7 acknowledged wonders of the world. You are about to witness the 8th. Please help us get started for the NVC 10 Championships.
Hey, I'm back. So our very first pitch of the night is going to be Beauty Book. And please help me welcome the girls back out onto stage and make sure and give them a huge round of applause, guys. Yeah.
Testing? Okay, perfect. So, this is what makeup looked like 50 years ago. It was a social requirement for women and was seen as a way to try and achieve impossible standards of beauty. This is what makeup looks like today. It's now grown into a form of art, expression, creativity, and self-confidence. I'm Dikshita, this is Rachel, and we've created Beauty Book to mobilize this evolution. Like many other art forms, makeup users enjoy sharing their looks and finding inspiration from others, and social media has become a great place for this. Every month there are over 27,000 searches for makeup looks online, and these makeup users spend on average $43 per shopping trip on makeup. Now if this isn't you, it might be someone else in your life. So imagine you're going out tonight and you see this gorgeous look on Instagram that you wanted to try and recreate. But all you have is this photo. You don't know what products they use or what steps they took to achieve the look. So now you're left rummaging through your makeup trying to figure out what to do. Or maybe you yourself created this beautiful look and wanted to store the information, such as the products and steps, for future reference or to just share it with your best friend. But there's no easy way to organize all this information cohesively, and it's 2018, so writing it all down on paper is unrealistic and outdated. Well, Beauty Book solves all these problems and more. Beauty Book is like a recipe book, but for makeup looks, that allows you to store the exact looks you do, including the exact products and steps that were taken to achieve the look, making it easy to recreate any look and store any look. So, you're going out tonight and you wanted to search for a fun new look to try. So you open up Beauty Book. You know you want the look to be pink and you love cut creases, so you search for pink cut crease. Now that look on the bottom left seems perfect, so let's choose that because it's exactly what you were looking for and the creator has the same features as you do. Even though at first glance this look seems really complex, our diagram view clearly displays each section of the look and the exact products that were used for each section of the look. So now you're looking at this photo and want to know what that dark pink shade is that the creator used in their crease. Well, our diagram view shows you the specific section and see the exact product that was used for that specific section. So it turns out you don't have this product, but you have the remaining 4 out of 5 products within your collection. You're just missing this one eyeshadow. Well, you can easily buy it by clicking on the product and following the Shop Now link. But since you're doing this look for tonight, you can look at the products that are similar to this product and use one of those that you already have in your collection. So now you're ready to recreate the look. You know what products to use, but you just need to know what steps took this from a blank slate to a beautiful makeup look. So 7 steps later, and you've recreated the look. So now you're ready to go out. Beautybook is a mobile application that allows you to store the exact looks you do and allows you to organize, share, and discover creativity easily and beautifully.
The beauty industry is larger than ever before, with beauty companies spending $13 billion a year on advertising and makeup users spending $57 billion a year on beauty products in the United States alone. We have 3 main streams of revenue. First, sponsored posts. Not only will these posts be a source of revenue, they will allow our users to develop recognition in their community. Second, affiliate purchasing. Stores like Ulta and Sephora offer 5 to 8% commission-based affiliate programs. That means if we have 50,000 users who each buy 10% of their makeup on Beautybook, with a 5% commission rate, we would earn $3.75 million. As our app grows, we plan to explore advertisements and premium memberships. To promote our app, we've been tapping into an inclusive and empowering online community that sees makeup as a form of creative expression for all types of makeup lovers. We've been reaching out to these community members on social media and gaining feedback on our prototype. There are thousands of talented creators on platforms like Instagram. One of my favorites, Indian Gem Beauty, who happens to be standing right next to me, gave us the opportunity to share our app with her following, giving us a unique entrance into the market. By reaching out to these involved community members, we've accumulated over 2,000 views to our landing page, 78 email signups, and many enthusiastic comments. We've also recently begun advertising on Facebook and Instagram, for which our ads are performing extremely well, even in comparison to averages for ads in the beauty industry. We know eventually our app will reach makeup users of all types, from gurus to professional artists to casual users. This is where our community is right now. Places like Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. And while these platforms have allowed our community to collaborate and share, none of them were built with the needs of the beauty community in mind. Because Beautybook is being built by makeup users, for makeup users, we're so excited to bring our community together in a platform that can offer so much more than existing alternatives. As women in computer science, with backgrounds in business and design, and a passion for makeup, we feel confident that we are the right team to build this app for our users. We've been building our beta over the past few months and are ready to launch as soon as our Apple developer account is approved. Beautybook is more than a makeup app. It's an opportunity to give a large community of artists and creators the tools they deserve and to see makeup as the creative art form that it is. If you want to be a... Sorry. Thank you.
So I could have used you tonight, as many people can see. So where were you? Like half an hour ago. So how long have you guys been online? You have 78 views and 2,000 visits. What's the engagement like so far? I mean, getting to those kinds of revenue numbers, that's ambitious. How do you know you're going to really see engagement?
Yeah, so we found that we got a lot of engagements on our advertisements, and we've seen that people who view our advertisements, we have a great click rate, which I can show you really quick in our supplementary slides. Right here, so we have more than the average amount of click rates for the beauty industry themselves. So we know that if we advertise more and see more and get in the eyes of more makeup users or makeup lovers, we know that this click-through rate will help us increase our following and then increase people who will download our app or even visit our website. So we've been looking at the engagement on our website for about 5 months or 6 months. So that is how long that's been going on. But we believe that if we continue advertising and then just using word of mouth also, we got a lot of our email signups from just word of mouth. So
how concerned are you? You know, every human has a different pH level to their body. Makeup changes color as you put makeup on a different pH. You know, I want your exact look tonight. Unfortunately, my pH is slightly different, and I'm disappointed with the outcome. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, so our app allows you to filter by certain filters that you have, such as your skin color, eye color, and what kind of skin you have, like oily or dry. So you can always filter with those, and then it provides you with the look that you know will 99% of the time work out on your eyes.
So last night I looked at makeup apps and I downloaded Sephora, Perfect 365, Makeup Plus, Hush, Ipsy, Ulta Beauty.
You're going to be on an awesome Facebook target right now.
Well, I got some questions from my wife. Is there something we need to talk about? But I played around with the app a little bit, and I could create the night shadow, smoky night shadow eyes. Take a picture of myself, long lashes, and then click through and have a tutorial from the Sephora app on how to create this look. So, what differentiates your app, compared to Sephora and some of the big companies out there that have similar apps?
Yeah, well, one thing for that is that I think a lot of those applications focus on makeup as a product when we're focusing on it as more of an art form, and that is so dependent on user-generated content. There are so many creators that would love their looks to be on Beautybook or on an application, and also we're focusing less on the ability to try on a look on the app, the sort of AR aspect, because we don't feel like that really beats the opportunity to create a look on your own face and wear it out for an evening.
What would you do specifically with the money if you were to win? What are your next goals for the company?
Yeah, so we would love to use the money to accelerate our development and get it out on the App Store, because right now we are in beta and we've actually completed the code for beta. We're just waiting on the Apple developer account. So we would use that to accelerate our full development, and then also use it for storage on the cloud, because we want all these photos and all the steps, products to not be stored on just the user's phone, because that takes up a lot of space. So we need a lot of cloud storage to store all these outside of the user's phone.
I'm curious, Rachel, you've got a very impressive portfolio in some of the projects that you've worked on, and I previewed that. I'm curious, how committed are you to this among the other projects and many other things you're working on?
Well, currently this is the only project that I'm dedicating a large majority of my time to, so I'm definitely very committed to it. We're graduating in May, but we both talked about working on it after graduation. It's something that through this experience I definitely want to move forward with in the future, and I'm very committed to it.
Have you tried to raise money in the past?
Yes, we actually won some seed funding from through school. So we won $300, and then last week or 2 weeks ago in the IT track finals, we actually won $2,000. So that's what we've raised so far. So we're looking at this as a stepping stone to possibly further raising investments.
And that's time. 3 seconds. Very good. Thank you.
All right, so our next team is the winner of the research and development track, and they make really cool robots. So please welcome to the stage, Hazel.
Good evening. My name is Eric Acom. This is Shane Mitchell. We are co-founders of Hazel Artificial Muscles. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the future of robotic motion. In the last 40 years, we've seen major developments in robotic technologies. And if I ask you to imagine what robots in the future will look like, I'm sure some of you will initially think about the Terminator or Westworld. But instead of worrying that the rise of machines will be our downfall, we are imagining a future where robots and machines dramatically improve our quality of life. In fact, people have been dreaming of this for decades. We've imagined having service robots to do our chores, robots to provide healthcare, and even collaborative robots to join us on adventures across the galaxy. The question is not if, but when and how this future will happen. The problem with robots today is that they're too expensive. Osimo here costs $2.5 million. If you remove its plastic covering, You get an idea of why that's the case. It's made out of metal components, driven by electric motors and gearboxes. These systems are expensive, heavy, and complicated. Clearly, this approach does not work for making inexpensive consumer robots. So instead, maybe we should take a different approach, one inspired by nature, which has had a lot of success using materials that are light and flexible. In fact, natural muscle is our inspiration for the ideal actuator. Muscle is fast, it's strong, and it's very adaptable. So instead of making robots driven by electric motors, we should be making robots that are driven by artificial muscles. How do you create artificial muscles? That's something we've been researching for the past few years, and what we found is that we can take some old science and apply it in a radically new way in order to create what we call Hazel artificial muscles. These are strong enough to lift your groceries, powerful enough to jump off the ground, and adaptive enough to handle delicate objects such as a raspberry. We published this research earlier this year, and we've been amazed by the response. People are excited about Hazel, but we're only just beginning to develop the technology. The performance of Hazel is increasing at a rapid rate, and we already have artificial muscles that compare to servo motors used for robots. There's going to be a wide range of applications for this technology. In the first market we're going to go after are robotic grippers. This is set to be a $9 billion market in the next 2 years, and the current industry standard costs $18,000. Now, if you want to pick up different sized or shaped objects, you have to reprogram this gripper. In contrast, we can make a Hazel gripper for $100 that's adaptable enough to pick up a wide variety of objects with only a single program. We know we can succeed in this market, but we don't want to stop there. As our technology develops, we will enable the burgeoning field of consumer robotics, which will range from personal service robots to more lifelike prosthetics. We're not the only ones who see the potential for this technology. In fact, we've already been contacted by key players in industry, including Microsoft, Mercedes-Benz, Medtronic, and Lockheed Martin. Additionally, our lab has a research collaboration with one of the world's largest auto manufacturers. In the past year, we've shown them we can hit major milestones. We've gone from powering our devices with a refrigerator-sized device to using a power supply that fits in your hands. This has allowed us to reduce costs by 100 times, and at the same time, we've increased efficiency 50% and more than doubled the strength of our muscles. So what's next? With money from New Venture Challenge, what we want to do is hit 3 goals to get us venture ready. First, scale up manufacturing. Second, miniaturize electronics. And finally, get a letter of intent for a pilot product. We're a creative team of scientists and engineers, and we're really excited about the future for Hazel. Now, Shane's going to show a demonstration of where the technology is today.
Thanks, Eric. So over here, we have a proof of concept artificial muscle, which consists of about 150 individual actuators, and each of those costs around 10 cents to make. It's powered by a few cell phone batteries, and with this Wii remote, I can activate all of the muscles simultaneously to cause it to expand, or I can control segments of the muscle to have it bend in various directions. Now you could imagine this as some sort of active surface, maybe a stabilization or positioning plate. Or you could scale it up to create a highly versatile robotic limb, something like an elephant trunk or an octopus arm. Now, while our initial goal is to break into the market of robotic grippers, our vision extends far beyond the limits of competing technologies today. From robotic sidekicks to exosuits and lifelike prosthetics, we plan to revolutionize the way in which robots move. But perhaps most importantly, this ambition is poised to improve the quality of life for millions of people. And we hope you'll join us on this fantastic journey to change science fiction into reality. Thank you.
I see that one of the next steps, if you were to win this money, is to invest in manufacturing. How much is that going to cost? Like, what are the fixed costs of making this material?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So luckily the materials that we use, the raw materials for the actuators themselves, are very inexpensive. We use traditionally thin film plastics, like the stuff that chip bags are made out of actually right now. And then we use a vegetable-based transformer oil as sort of the working fluid. Now, those materials are very amenable to industrial processes, like roll-to-roll fabrication and things like that. Obviously, those are pretty capital intensive to have a giant sort of streamlined roll-to-roll process. So we would start out with maybe smaller scale stuff, figure out what designs we want to actually sell and things like that.
So you made the comment, we're using old science in a new way, which led me to think, so what intellectual property have you created that you own that's a barrier to entry for competitors?
Sure, yeah, so really right now we have 2 patents. One is a PCT that's been filed for the general idea of Hazel, and this is just really a new mechanism for getting electrical actuation. And so that PCT covers kind of the broad basis of the technology, and then we also have a provisional patent based on a specific design or geometry of the technology, and we have tons of other ideas of other geometries or specific applications that we think could be patented in the future.
So you said you had a lot of interest from companies coming in. Have they told you how they would want to use this? I mean, it's so broad, narrowing it down to actually create some revenue would be important.
Yeah, that was actually what was really interesting about this is we published this work a few months ago, and luckily we have an amazing videographer, Tim Morrissey, who's probably going to be the CEO of this company, who put together some YouTube videos for us, and those kind of just sort of took off, and we were contacted by a bunch of different companies to sort of use this technology in many different avenues, such as obviously robotic grippers is the market we're going to target first, but also adaptive surfaces was really big, like haptic suits. A lot of companies really want to use these sort of shape-changing materials on vehicles. Like adaptive airfoils.
So do you imagine that your revenue is going to be licensing this technology, or are you ever thinking about making a product yourself, the first product? Are you going to make that, or are you going to license this to somebody else?
Yeah, I think we envision ourselves, at least initially, as sort of a component company. So we're going to sell our muscles to people for them to use in whatever applications they desire. And that'll also allow us to get some customer feedback and figure out what works, what doesn't work, and take it from there.
And why don't you just sell the technology and license the technology?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It seems like a faster path to make money, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be one of the quickest options for us to go for. I think part of it is that we're all just very passionate about the technology, and so we want to kind of see it through and see how it develops.
It's also admittedly happening very fast. As I said, we just published this and we got this amazing response. So we're trying to just sort of figure out where we sort of fit in the market. Licensing is definitely an option, but I think at least initially we are also juggling PhDs, so we've been doing that for a while, but we kind of just need to manage our time a little bit and figure out kind of where to take the technology.
How much time do you anticipate it will take to get to that LOI from the first customer? What's the runway?
Yeah, so we're imagining in the next 1 to 2 years kind of getting some kind of pilot product out. And along with that, hopefully shortly thereafter getting a LOI.
What is the biggest thing you need to do to keep the cost of this technology going down?
Mass production, I would say.
And does anybody on the team have any experience in production yet?
Not yet.
Okay, it's fine.
To be honest. No. Yeah, but a few years ago we didn't have experience in any of this stuff. So,
Good. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so our next venture is an app connected ring that's really cool and does a light thing that connects to color and it makes music and it's pretty impressive. I don't quite understand it, but I think you're going to be really excited. So please put your hands together for Spectrum.
Hey everyone, my name is Steven. I'm the founder and CEO of Spectrums. While involvement in music is shown to lead to 2 times the graduation rates among low-income children, we're aware that 1.5 million students across the country simply don't have access to a music classroom. Me personally, I was lucky enough to grow up having a music teacher, one that was truly inspiring and motivated me to want to learn the drums. Without Dr. Beluso, I would have never had this creative outlet my entire life, nor would I be standing here, because at a certain point, I became determined to form a company to develop the most accessible, versatile musical instrument, one that would inspire and enable students of all backgrounds to become musicians just like I had. Introducing Spectrums. They're app-connected rings that turn tapped colors into sounds, making the entire world your sound machine. Before I explain it more, let me show you how it works. So first, you connect the ring to the app over Bluetooth just by tapping. And then you can make beats by tapping on colors around you. If you thought that was cool, check out what you can do with 2 rings and a lot of practice. As you can see, we've created a new kind of instrument that makes playing music extremely accessible, fun, and intuitive. But it took us a lot to get to where we are now. With just around $10,000 in student accelerator funding, we've already filed and issued 1 utility patent that covers our methods for turning tapped colors into sounds. We've gone through 9 major ring iterations to prove out our tech and gain valuable customer feedback along the way. And then we manufactured 100 rings in preparation for our huge Kickstarter campaign, which we launched last fall, and in just 1 day we raised our goal of $15,000. Throughout the campaign, we ended up generating over $180,000 and gained a ton of PR traction. But more importantly, we learned a lot about our customers. Through a backer insight survey we sent to our Kickstarter backers, we found that people were using Spectrums in ways we didn't think about, like accessibility workers using Spectrums for autistic and low mobility children, and then developers interested in open source applications. But our main market are musicians who think that Spectrums is a new revolutionary tool for creating music. Then there's parents who are buying Spectrums to get their kids starting to play with music and become more creative. And then teachers are filing grants left and right to buy dozens of rings for their classroom. Just check out what some of them have to say.
Spectrums allows kids to use their creativity in ways that we haven't been able to do before.
Oh my gosh, the options for these in the music classroom are completely endless. Spectrums were the perfect way to keep students engaged in music through technology.
So how are we going to get Spectrums into the hands of millions of students across the country? Right now, we're offering Spectrums in pairs on our website for $89. We're also offering a couple other products like our value pack, especially for teachers, and then carrying cases, playing pads, activity books with guided Spectrums lessons, and also these cool playable shirts. Right now, we're in the heart of fulfilling our Kickstarter orders. In about 1 week, we're going to get a truck full of 6,000 Spectrums rings. We're also working on a new product, partially funded by Red Bull for some of their music festivals. Then, through all the customer feedback we're going to gain, we'll be ready for our V2 production run, which is going to be here in time for our next big launch on Amazon this summer. Then, after working with some distribution and retail partners, we'll be ready to launch Spectrums in retail and schools by the fall. In fact, I've already gone to meet with Apple to talk about a potential launch in the stores for the holiday season. We're also working on some licensing opportunities with a toy company, Imperial Toy. Right now, we're on track to reach 1.5 million in sales by the end of this year just through our e-commerce alone. But with the funding from NVC, we can really scale up our company. We can, by hiring more employees and by being able to purchase more inventory. bringing that to closer to 4 million in sales. So why would you invest in our team? Well, we're a group of recent CU students who are from engineering. Thanks, and let's bring music to everyone's fingertips.
So my mother is an elementary school music teacher. I showed this to her, and she said, "Cool toy, but it doesn't teach any music." How do you link this to the theory of music and the keyboard? How would you sell this to my mom?
Yes. So I guess what teachers are saying, like they have their lessons of teaching music, and a lot of times they already use color. Like they'll match the notes with color. So by doing this, you can basically, like kids can color in their own pianos, and they can cut out construction paper, and basically they can just like make music by a color association. But more importantly, it's a fun way for the kids to just have fun making music, and it makes it a little bit more engaging.
I would just say, as a fellow drummer, many people would argue playing drums is not music. But you and I know differently, right? So, quick question: $89 sale price. What's your cost on making these right now?
So yeah, currently our cost of $35 for a pair, but with our V2, it's going to go down to.
And where are you manufacturing these?
Yeah, so we're manufacturing it. The first one was done in Houston, and then now it's in Mexico.
So let me ask you another question, since I stole hers. Are you selling? Is this a music student thing, or is it a musician instrument? You've mentioned both. I understand your part about the musical, students, but there's been 1 billion different new instruments, and they never take. Why are you different? What was wrong with those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I can go to maybe our kind of where we stand versus some competitors, but how we differ is like Spectrums isn't meant to be like a professional musical tool. Right now it's really meant for something to be for kids to kind of get excited about music. And just people that have fun making music, like instead of being, you don't have to be a pro, but you can just kind of have fun and make beats. So it's not meant to be like one of those kind of more advanced musical tools.
Okay. So remind me again, I can't remember if you said this. Have you done research with kids on what the reaction is and how they're adopting it? Like how many kind of studies have you done around that?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of studies, we've like gone to we've gone to schools and like tried it out and like kind of analyzed how the kids use it. So we've kind of interacted with teachers, and like I guess we haven't done any official like studies, but we like saw how they were using it. We kind of interviewed teachers, did some like customer development with parents.
What do you view as the barriers to entry for other toy companies or music companies to create something similar to compete with you?
Yeah, so for one, we have our patent, but I guess but more importantly, it looks simple, but it did take a lot of development to really get the color sensing accurate and tap detection. So there's a lot of development that went into it. Other than that, I think we've gotten a lot of traction so far through our Kickstarter that we think we're building our brand up.
And how many rings can you link to a phone and play at one time?
So it depends on like the model of the phone and how old it is, but we like limit it to 10 rings at once. So you can easily connect like 4. Then after that, depending on the model, sometimes it doesn't let you keep adding more. But
all right, thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, so our next team up is Cannabis Marketing Association. So please give them a huge round of applause.
Is a nightmare. Is it a medicine? Is it an adult use substance? Which one of these is which? There are over 80 different cannabinoids, over 25 different forms of consumption, and over 1,000 different uses for the plant. So how do you begin to differentiate and understand all the different types of products? Even worse, cannabis marketing regulations vary from state to state and even county to county and are often absurd. In Delaware, dispensaries can only advertise in phone books or directories. In Nevada, every single advertising campaign has to be approved by the state government. In Connecticut, dispensary store signs can't light up at night. Not to mention, advertising violations may be legal cause to shut down cannabis businesses, creating incredible pressure on marketers to stay informed and compliant. Digitally, it gets even more complicated. Social media platforms prohibit advertising and shut down accounts at random, cutting off key connections businesses have with their customers. And yet, despite this, the industry is growing at a stunning 31% compound annual growth rate and is projected to be a $50 billion industry by 2026. Over the next 3 years, there will be a 5 times increase in marketers coming from traditional backgrounds in other industries, and they don't have anywhere to go for education, support, and data. My name is Lisa Buffo, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Cannabis Marketing Association. The industry needs an organization dedicated to education, community, and best practices for the professionals and soon-to-be professionals actively marketing cannabis. I was the chief marketing officer of a cannabis company when I experienced these challenges firsthand. So I started having meetings to discuss these issues. I created a meetup group, and at our first meeting, 80 marketers showed up eagerly seeking support and information. And by our second meeting, we started charging $20 to come. Within a few months, marketers from San Francisco and Los Angeles reached out about forming chapters. We launched those chapters, and to prove traction, we sold year-long memberships just at our Bay Area launch, and 30% of attendees purchased these memberships, with chapter events being the only benefit. And for the last year, we've averaged 50 people per meeting per chapter, and now our early adopters are demanding more from us. CMA has organic inbound requests from over 15 cities to launch chapters. We have over 1,400 direct requests for membership and numerous offers from businesses wanting to pay for sponsorships. And all of this with absolutely no funding and $0 going towards marketing. The first product we're launching is an individual membership. This membership tier gets you access to members-only chapter events, access to our online educational portal that members can network through, and access to industry data through our partnership with the leading business intelligence and analytics company in the cannabis industry. In Q3, we're launching business memberships, essentially group rates for employees based on size. And in Q4, we're creating long-term value by launching an annual educational conference for industry marketers. And with our widened audience, we can also charge for ad space across our offerings, all things we have been asked to do by our members. CMA will establish itself as a thought leader through content, and will use both inbound and outbound methods to bring on members. I've worked for 4 different business accelerators, and in my cannabis CMO role, I launched a $30 million tech startup this way. There are cannabis associations focused on lobbying, and there are marketing associations focused on producing academic research and representing agencies. But no one is addressing one of the largest pain points, marketing, for an entire industry. Associations are long-living organizations and win simply by first-mover advantage. Our COO worked at the top marketing association, and our California director was the head of marketing for the country's oldest dispensary in Berkeley. We also have an agency CEO whose clients include Facebook and Twitter, and the head of marketing for the industry's leading news source. With $100,000, we can 3x this return on investment in 12 months. We can launch nationally, build out our content portal, launch chapters, and service the current 1,400 plus member requests from across the country and abroad that are eagerly waiting to hear from us. With $100,000, we can create a legacy and change the way people think about cannabis. Legalization is here to stay, and this influx of new consumers also needs educating. Could you imagine a future where grandma is empowered to take a CBD tincture to treat her pain instead of prescription opioids? It all starts with marketing and transforming the way the industry talks about cannabis. CMA will be the heartbeat that pushes the blood all the way out. And the impact we will have is going to be dramatic. And the best part, this has never been done before. Let's be the first. Thank you.
So of all the problems, I think in cannabis, I didn't think marketing was its problem. Feels like people are finding it. What do you think the lifespan of this organization is, given the kind of rapid kind of normalization of the industry?
So within a few months of alcohol prohibition ending, the leaders of the alcohol industry formed the Distilled Spirits Council, which is an association that still stands today that regulates responsible marketing and covers things that the government cannot cover.
Are they for profit?
No, they're a 501c6, like an CMA.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
I'm not clear what product you're offering. What service are you offering? I mean, is this just a group where people can gather and smoke some weed and share best practices?
Yeah.
Or are you providing content and education to the different marketing reps in different companies? So can you comment on the content that you're producing?
Yeah, so the second part of what you said. So we're building an online content portal that marketers can access. We have chapters in local cities for that community, but the reason it's online is so that oftentimes there are agencies in New York taking clients in Colorado who don't know about the regulations here. And we position ourselves as at the intersection of the conversation between cannabis and marketing. There are a lot of cannabis savvy folks who are not great marketers, and there are a lot of marketers who don't understand the multitude of cannabis products and how they impact the body. And so they're selling in a way that does not come from that education. So building out our content portal is cannabis education focused, marketing education focused, but also specific to the industry. You know, how are we going to do this and target these new individuals, which is happening already.
I was on the board of a trade association for 4 years. Don't judge me. I was young and I needed the money. But
I'm pitching.
I noticed that people, every year going out and getting the fees, going out there and trying to prove your self-worth every year and having people come and go, and people feel like they've got the education and they don't need you anymore and they leave, and a lot of churn. Did you ever think about doing something like Ship Compliant here, locally, that did compliance? You said there's all these fractures. There's these rules here, there's rules there. Did you ever think about, let's just do a compliance platform for SaaS, make sure everybody's abiding by the rules, and take it in a software tech sort of situation, not just a trade association?
I guess we could, but this is how this evolved and the way I've been working through it. In terms of associations, I mean, we're launching on an educational platform now, but I think the strength of associations is that they build based on what their members want and need. So this pitch is based on that feedback and where I see the biggest holes in the industry, but I think the best and most sustainable models are those that evolve to serve the needs of their members in that community, which is this industry.
So you mentioned the trade association for alcohol and that it's not for profit, but this company is meant to be for profit?
This is a 501c6.
Okay.
So no, trade associations are their own designation.
Okay, got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So our very last team, and certainly not least, is State Hill. So please give Keaton Brown a huge round of applause.
Hope we got some Stones fans in here tonight. 3 years ago, I was working an internship at a regional lobbying group in Colorado. Alongside coffee runs and phone calls, my primary responsibility was the handling and documentation of all legislation relevant to the group. This was handled in a 3-ring binder, about 4 inches thick, full of past, pending, and introduced legislation. Anytime the organization took a new stance or updated an old position, I would sort through the stack, locate the bill of interest, scour the state website, piece together the information I need, print it off, and replace the legislation. Rinse, repeat, 40 hours a week for 3 months. I'm Keaton, I'm a co-founder of State Hill, and we're on a mission to connect legislative data around the world. We address 2 primary problems facing the global government affairs industry. First, policymaking is distributed. Distributed in terms of the many institutions, from the national levels to the local levels, that can simultaneously create and implement rules and regulations, all impacting businesses and organizations in varying degrees. From this, we encounter problem 2. Legislative data is messy. The disorganized nature of distributed policymaking across different levels of government and cultures creates a chaotic slew of legislative information. Not to mention the sheer volume of legislation grows year over year. Effectively keeping track of and communicating what is going on in one legislature, let alone multiple, becomes increasingly complex. At the core, State Hill is a database of well-organized information. We exist to build tools that enable a more productive and navigable legislative process, empowering businesses and organizations to analyze the issues and position resources effectively through integrated technology and data. Our completely automated process involves ingesting as much information as possible, normalizing it, presenting the information in complete understandable formats, and layering the data with a suite of productivity and analytical tools. The result? No more digging through endless web pages and documents to find the information you're looking for. The best way to understand what we do is to look directly in-app. Here are 4 screenshots from State Hill, along with their primary source beneath. From left to right, you see bills from Colorado, Congress, the EU Parliament, and the UK Parliament. Across these 4 legislatures, what stands out isn't the differences across 4 contrasting legislatures, but the striking similarities within the State Hill app. Looking more closely to congressional screenshot, you can see the thoughtful combination of 36 individual sources and hundreds of documents. Our legislator profiles transform data into actionable insight. In addition to connecting all relevant information about elected officials in one place, we analyze the data to help identify successes and failures and create opportunities to advocate more effectively. Our current geographic reach includes 53 legislatures in app, along with 7 in beta development, spanning multiple systems of government across 4 continents. Following a B2B software as a service subscription model, combined with self-funding, we've been able to remain very lean, agile, and responsive to market trends and customer feedback. Looking towards market potential, in addition to the $4 billion reported spent on lobbying in the US, the global market for legal and compliance software is expected to nearly triple, from $22 billion to $64 billion by 2025. We seek to capitalize on this spending, picking up the long tail from small to medium-sized entities. The potential to continue growing with this market is immense. Corporations, law firms, nonprofits, professional associations, lobbyist firms, governments, and more. As politics plays an increasingly larger role, penetrating all facets of an organization, the case for actively participating and leveraging the power of a data-centric platform is becoming less of a luxury and more of a necessity. Across the competitive landscape, we see several legacy players focused on the US market. Currently, 3 companies have an international legislative data presence. Among these 3, State Hill stands out as affordable yet feature-rich, offering high-quality data at a significantly lower price point. Our immediate short-term goal is to continue building a foundation for growth. Product-wise, we've never been better. As it currently stands, we anticipate year-over-year revenue growth, as well as data set and feature expansion. Our opportunity to grow is now. Building more, faster, selling more, faster. Our international team consists of myself, Alex in Brussels, American Carl, and Swedish Carl. 3 nationalities coming together, working our hardest to disrupt the political tech industry and help shape the future of legislative affairs. Our customers are the real champions and biggest advocates of State Hill, and their words say it best. While only a sample of our customer base, as you can see, on both sides of the pond, State Hill is already adding value to client operations. From the state capital to the world, we're excited about increasing access to information. We stand at the forefront of the shift to more productive, tech-integrated, and transparent government systems. We're well on our way to solving a multi-billion-dollar problem. Are you part of the answer? Thank you.
Is this where I put in some glib comment about I'm kind of hoping no legislation gets passed anytime in the near future?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you have, how many customers do you have? You had 2 on the slides. Are those your 2 customers?
No. Last year we were looking at about around 25 customers.
About 25.
This year growing a little bit. We have experienced a lot of growth within the last 4 to 5 months. We're looking at about $30K in total revenue last year, hoping to hit about $250K this year.
And then how do, I assume you're selling the lobbyists, you're selling the police station, you're selling a whole bunch of people. How do you have the one price fits all? I mean, I assume the budget of a police station is much different than a high-powered lobbyist in DC. How did you figure out your pricing strategy?
Yeah, exactly. So we played around with different pricing mechanisms. We tried tiered structures where we charge based on how large the size is. We find this way is the best way to do that, charging a base price and then adding fees per extra users, so we can easily accommodate. We have 2-person teams in Colorado using it, and we can have 20-person teams in Brussels using the same product.
So my college roommate was one of the early joiners of Avo, and their mission is to revolutionize the legal industry. Avo was sold yesterday to Internet Brands for about $1 billion. The legal industry is big. This is a niche kind of subsegment of that. So I'm concerned about the market size and the potential. How do you view the overall market opportunity here?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting you mentioned the legal sector. I actually just met with the CU Law School here the week before spring break, and they are on trials right now. They're interested in gaining access for potentially every student, and we didn't even initially consider law schools as being a potential customer, but the team I met with thought that this was something every law school would be really interested in. So we haven't even added that extra number to our market cap, but very applicable to the legal industry, to the political industry, and many more.
So you mentioned that this is one of your main focuses for lobbyists. And what value would a lobbyist is really trying to influence legislation that's going through a General Assembly in the current time. And I'm assuming you're not talking about legislation that's in process. You're talking about legislation that's already been approved or filed.
Both. We have legislation that's been passed in the House today, and we have legislation going back for years.
Well, the lobbyists by design want it to be opaque. I mean, they don't want it to be clarified. So I'm just wondering, is that a headwind for you that really where you would provide value for a lobbyist would be in areas they do not want it to become more clear?
Sorry, I don't really understand that.
Yeah. When most bills are going through any kind of legislature, they actually try to go through in a very, very stealth way, in a very confused way, so that either support or opposition can't be brought up very cleanly.
So all of our information is held with, we use Amazon Web Services, so military-grade encryption, so user information is never going to be hacked. I know in some states like Colorado, it's required that lobbyists report the positions they take, although we don't do that in ours.
Yeah, only after the fact. But during the legislative process, there's things going on in real time that are really what's used for this. So that's where the value would be for a lobbyist, and that real time data would be something they wouldn't want to have exposed.
Yeah. So yeah, we would not expose their data if they were tracking or opposing legislation.
You said you didn't grow much in the last year. What led to the lack of growth?
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I said we have grown a lot in the last year. So about 30K last year, working with a lot of trade associations and that sort of thing. We envision a shift towards targeting corporations that are looking towards multiple markets. We just brought on our first Fortune 500 client a couple months ago, the Walt Disney Company, their European operations. At this point, we're in talks with 5 or 6 different Fortune 500s, really trying to tackle the corporation market, and we've seen our revenue grow really substantially, and we expect that to continue to grow.
One last question. I was on your website and I noticed that you are active in a number of markets, both in the US and internationally. It seems like a lot to roll out in multiple countries. Why did you choose to do that? Why not just focus in one market?
Yeah, a lot of the people we're trying to target are interested in all these. So initially, the US is the market we first wanted to capture, moved on to Brussels, the European Parliament, and the UK. All of these parliaments and legislatures that we've implemented for a reason. We're always growing our database. We see this as the world aggregation of legislative information, but we've been strategically building the operations within different legislatures for that reason.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We officially made it through all of the pitches, so huge round of applause. I can speak from experience right now that it's not easy to get on stage and talk in front of everybody, so huge kudos to all these people that were brave enough to get up here tonight. Judges are on their way to go deliberate, and we will get the decision later. But next up, we have our audience choice pitches. So how this is going to work is actually in your programs for tonight. So you will be using your cell phones, and you will be able to vote for one of the next 4 teams. So please make sure to wait until all 4 are done. I will be putting up a slide as well so you can see it, and I'll explain how it's going to work. And then we will basically give you guys about 10-15 minutes to get your vote in, and then we will see who the winner is. So if you could please welcome the very first team for our new lightning pitches. Norma is actually the winner of our Women's Entrepreneurship Prize as well. So please welcome Norma to the stage. Yeah.
Take a look around this room. 1 in 8 women here will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. Each year, 300,000 American women are diagnosed, and 40,000 women will die. But there's hope. Early detection is key and can increase a woman's chance of survival by 98%. The problem is, women aren't doing monthly breast self-exams, one of the most effective ways to detect abnormality. Why? They forget. They don't think cancer will happen to them, or they just don't know how. I'm Lauren Dempsey, co-founder and CEO of Norma, and we are solving this problem. Norma is a mobile app that empowers women to take charge of their breast health and learn they are normal. Inside, a woman can record her monthly exams, track changes, access resources, connect with a community, and even share data with her doctor. But we aren't just another app. We know app notifications don't always spur action, so that's why we're introducing the breast button. It's like an Amazon Dash button for your boobs. This app-enabled IoT device sticks to your bathroom mirror or shower wall and glows when it's time for a woman to perform her exam, serving as a physical reminder she can't dismiss and acting as an external trigger to form a lifelong habit. Despite the rise of the femtech industry, there are no all-inclusive breast health solutions currently on the market. Susan G. Komen, the world's largest breast cancer organization, doesn't even have an app. Before I close, I want to introduce you to the most exciting feature of Norma, our team. We came together at Techstar Startup Weekend in February and already have an app MVP in the App Store and are testing our IoT device in women's homes today. So who are we? From an 18-year-old whiz kid app developer to computer programmers, breast tech experts, an Apple product design engineer, an expert UI UX designer, and even a former naval officer, we are an all-woman team designing the world we want to live in. 4 of us have personal family history with breast cancer, and we all know we are solving a problem much greater than ourselves. Together, we are building Norma to become the bathroom's next toothbrush that will save countless lives around the world. Thank you.
All right, so our next pitch is Hearth. Please welcome them to the stage.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and this is Connor, and we are Hearth. The first wood-burning furnace was patented over 450 years ago, and today's modern furnaces work on essentially the same principle. Burn some stuff and send hot air through the vents. But with the same old technology comes the same old problems. Different rooms are different temperatures. This can mean inconvenience, like when your bedroom's too cold, or even a danger in sensitive rooms like nurseries. Hearth is a solution to uneven heating. Our smart vent covers use infrared sensors to measure the temperature in each room, communicating directly with other Hearth vents in the home to intelligently control the airflow of your house, sending heat to the places that need it first. And heating isn't just about turning on and off your furnace. It's about intelligently using that heat throughout your home, adjusting based on the user's habits or preferences, based on the occupants of the room, or even learning where in your home you're wasting heat. The smart home market was a $15 billion market last year, and it's growing fast, and we're itching to get our product out there. We're currently developing prototypes to send to homeowners who have signed up to beta test Hearth in their home. Hearth makes life more comfortable. Life becomes more simple and smarter with one simple solution that you never have to think about. If you'd like to join us in changing the future of heating, please get in contact with us. Thank you.
Before my time is up, hey, let's get it now.
All right, so our next pitch is Operation Cadence. Please welcome them to the stage.
In 2011, I was training for a marathon, but during my training, I cracked both my shin bones. Turns out I was running with bad form. But I'm not alone. Up to 79% of runners experience injury. I'm Annika Hoagland, and I launched Operation Cadence to help reduce the prevalence of injury among runners. The average recreational runner has a step frequency that is too slow and is often coupled with overstriding, which creates a braking effect when the foot lands in front of the body. At a faster step rate, the foot naturally lands more beneath the body's center of gravity, and there is less stress on the joints and bones. This may reduce the runner's risk of injury or expedite rehabilitation after injury. At Operation Cadence, we train runners with new music. By stepping to the beat of our music, runners are able to maintain a high step frequency. The highlight of our product is music-directed workouts with a consistent pulse. Both our high energy and our recovery music have the same basic beat, allowing runners to maintain a high step frequency regardless of running speed. So, as the pace of the workout changes, we change style of music. We will deliver our product in a mobile app and offer a subscription service to provide access to our music and workouts. We distinguish ourselves from our competition because we offer a cadence-driven music training app. Currently, music apps aren't geared toward a high step frequency, cadence apps lack music, and training apps aren't integrated with either. By integrating all three, we help others run efficiently and achieve their goals while providing an inspirational soundtrack for running without the distraction of lyrics. We will tap into the $2 billion fitness app industry by continuing to work within the existing infrastructure of the running industry. With key partnerships and online marketing, we'll establish ourselves as a reputable resource for runners. Audience Choice Prize money would provide a seed as we build a business for the sustainable creation of new art music. We're changing the world of running with music. I hope you'll join us. Thank you.
So our last lightning pitch is Vegan Arc, and they are the winners of our Social Impact Prize. So please welcome to the stage and give a big round of applause.
Cheers. If you're born a cow, one of 300 million in India's 75 million dairy farms, and you're born male, you're killed as soon as you're born. If you're born female, then you're destined for a life of prolonged cruelty at the hands of the dairy industry, and you ultimately end up on the floor of a slaughterhouse. Humans kill 62 billion land animals every year, more than 2 trillion marine animals every year. That is more than the number of stars in our galaxy. The future of food is nutrient-rich, super green, and inevitably plant-based. I'm Abhay Rangan from Bangalore, India, and I run Vegan Archy with my mother. We make plant-based food affordable and accessible in India. We're enabling the future of food today. Our products are almond milk, coconut milk, and peanut yogurt, and all of them are shelf-stable. Our business model is that of the Dollar Shave Club. We ship your monthly fix of vegan milk and yogurt directly to your doorstep as a subscription, and guess what? They don't need any refrigeration during transportation because they're all shelf-stable. Some of our early accomplishments are that we raised $400,000 in seed funding in January, and we created the world's first shelf-stable drinkable vegan yogurt. We've been featured on Forbes, we've been on TEDx, and every major Indian media house, Deccan Herald, Deccan Chronicle, The Economic Times, and more. We look forward to your support in helping us enable a kind, compassionate India, helping people move towards more authentic, rational, and compassionate food choices. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, so that concludes our lightning pitches. So here's how you're gonna vote. So if you pull up a text message and you type in 797979, and then type in vote NVC 10. Now, the vote NVC 10, don't worry about it being capitalized. But one thing I do want to point out is that there does need to be a space in between, and I'm going to come over here like Vanna White. There needs to be a space in between the team that you pick. So just, yes, thank you. Hi. So just make sure that you put a space in between, otherwise it won't work, and you will get an error message. But if your vote has successfully gone through, you will get a confirmation, and you'll also get a link so you can follow us on Facebook. So go ahead and start doing that now. The information is available in your programs if you need to look at it a little bit longer. But we are going to move on to our next thing. So give me just 1 minute while I re-clip this on. Okay. There we go. All right, so now the next thing we're going to be doing is giving out some awards. So the Fletcher Richmond Award has traditionally been given out to a student who exemplifies entrepreneurship, innovation on campus, and really leaves a lasting legacy and really makes a difference on the campus that, you know, is known for years to come. So the winner of our award tonight, she is the founder and CEO of Wild Guide. Woo, yeah. She's also competed in NBC for, I believe, 2 years in a row now. She's the director of Startup Summer. She's the president of the CU MBA Women in Business Club. She's also been a speaker at the Wild Summit. And she has done this all, as Eric Miller from the Deming Center pointed out, with an amazing attitude and a sense of adventure. Please welcome to the stage Danielle Dannenberg. All right, so next up we have the Frank Moyes Award. So, woo! So this award is given to a staff or faculty member who, along the same lines, has really done a lot to help advance the entrepreneurship and innovation culture at CU Boulder. The person who was nominated and won tonight, he's the Assistant Dean for Programs and Engagement at the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. He is the co-director of the Engineering Leadership Program. He helped create Catalyze CU. He helped create the DVCF. And he is pretty much the catalyst, if you will, pardon my pun, for a lot of the entrepreneurial things that have happened at the engineering school as well as CU Boulder. He's really been a pinnacle of the community here at CU. So if you could please welcome to the stage Doug Smith. Woo. You're very welcome. Yeah. Congratulations. All right, so finally we have our Mentor of the Year award. Mentorship is really what makes the NVC tick. They're our special sauce, if you will, on our Big Mac. And I'd really like to take a minute to just thank all of the mentors that are in the audience tonight before we announce the winners. So if everybody could just stand up. If you were a mentor of the NVC, either this year or the last 10 years, yeah. I don't think it can be stated enough the quality and caliber of people we have in this program and at CU Boulder that volunteer their time for no reason other than they're just really excited to give back. So thank you all. We couldn't do this without you. If you're interested in becoming a mentor, you can come find me. So this Mentor of the Year award is for somebody who really has gone above and beyond. The Call of Duty has been very involved with the NVC and on campus in other ways. So this year, our winner has been extremely active in the IT track this year in particular. He's been at literally every single event. He has done mentor coaching, worked with a ton of teams that made it to the semifinals, and he helped advance a number of teams in ways that they certainly couldn't have done without them. This was a very clear nomination. I had multiple people nominate him, so I'd like to welcome to the stage Tim Hill. Yeah, congratulations.
When the night has come.
All right, so now we are going to bring Brad Bernthal back onto stage, and he's going to bring up Brad and Dan. Yay! Woo!
While they're coming up, Dan Caruso is the founder and CEO of Zayo, and Brad Feld is one of the founders and a managing director with the Foundry Group. They've really been part of the New Venture Challenge in different roles since the start. And so in terms of a Q&A, let me talk a little about past, present, and future. So in terms of NVC past, Brad, I'll tee you up first. The origins of the NVC actually goes back to a 2006 conversation around a roundtable at CU, and you'd had experience with the MIT 100K. You threw out this idea, hey, why don't you guys do something like that? What'd you have in mind?
Well, first, I would say that I probably didn't have this in mind as 10 years in, so congrats. This is pretty awesome. I lived in Boston from 83 to 95, and the MIT entrepreneurship competition, which was originally called the 10K, was started in 1988, or 89 was the first year, and it was started off very humbly. A VC who was an MIT grad who passed away a few years ago was the original sponsor. It's a guy named Morgan Thaler, David Morgan Thaler, and he sponsored it with $10,000. And the first 5 or 6 years of it, it was the MIT 10K. And it started off with a relatively small number of teams, and there wasn't a big presentation, and the judging was sort of quiet, but then there were some awards. But there's a lot of activity around it. And by about 1992, I became a judge in 91 or 92, and it was really starting to pick up speed. And some really significant companies subsequently came out of it over the years. Some of you may have heard of a company called Akamai, which was in the 97 or 98 program. They didn't win. They weren't even a finalist, I don't think, but they ended up being, a very successful company that was stimulated by this. And in this roundtable, as Brad and Phil Weiser and a few others were sort of talking about what could we do to more fully engage the campus, I used this as an example, and I said, think about it from the standpoint of not just, it was originally MIT's was a business plan competition. Don't have it as a business plan competition, have it as a company creation competition. And I think, Brad, you really ran with that notion even back to the first year.
In terms of finding backers, Nancy Pierce is here somewhere. When we went out to the community, we thought this was a great idea, right? Do you want to get behind the New Venture Challenge? And the collective response Nancy accepted was, get behind what? It was really tough. Dan, you were one of the first sponsors, and I think the first company sponsor at Zayo, to kind of see what we were onto. What got you enthusiastic about the New Venture Challenge early on?
Well, I thought you had a lot of other sponsors, so I didn't realize I was taking such a risk. Now I know. I just think it's a great opportunity to stimulate a lot of participation early on in kind of the development of students. It's not just the teams that are on stage here, but how many teams participate overall? 100
this year? 120.
120 teams, which means 400, 500 students and people around them had perhaps their first taste of what it takes to think of an idea and turn that into a business plan and a business itself. And so I think entrepreneurship, new businesses, create so much goodness in the world, but we need the entrepreneurs in order to create them and run them. So I just like to see us stimulating that activity.
Talk a little bit about the present. What did you see tonight that catches your attention, either in companies or the scene? What's the state of the present that jumps out to you, Brett?
Well, I want to, before I answer that question, I want to make one more point that I think was something you internalized at the very beginning. And if you go back a decade, entrepreneurial activity on CU Boulder's campus wasn't very broadly distributed. There were a couple of pockets of some activity, but there wasn't much connectivity across the different schools, different departments. And one of the initial goals was to do something cross-campus. And the idea of CU Boulder as an entrepreneurial university wasn't really in the front of mind then. And I'd like to think that what y'all and what everybody that's been involved in with the NVC over the last decade have done is really provide some scaffolding for this notion of an entrepreneurial campus. And I would just want to emphasize that because I think that's a really important part of it. It does link to something I saw today was, I didn't know a lot of the students, but if you looked at the different companies, clearly they came from different disciplines. They weren't just business school people or computer science or research scientists, it was some of all. And that dynamic of trying to get everybody across the campus to feel like entrepreneurship is accessible and there's a way in the university for them to engage with it, per what Dan just said, is super powerful. So that's what I saw today.
Plus one to that point, and I get to do a lot of talking because I've got suits from Shinesty. But to your point, we set out to do the New Venture Challenge. I don't think we realized that in the background what was going to happen is that there would be a network of entrepreneurial leaders across campus, faculty, staff, and students, that this really became the primary mechanism for us to have regular meetings. We get together at the Taj for Indian food, and it's been very interesting the way that it's created a powerful network across campus that way. Dan, same question to you. In terms of things that you're seeing tonight or this year in the New Venture Challenge, what about the present jumps out to you?
There's a few things. First of all, look where we're at. We're in this facility here that's very close to campus, but off campus, and I think it symbolizes the involvement of both the community and the university collaborating together. I see that. What I've seen in the recent year or two that's led up to today is the collaboration across the university, across CU Boulder, where you have kind of a strong participation from the engineering school, from the business school, from the law school that really spearheaded all of this, and across the other schools of the university. The CU Boulder is working together around the theme of innovation entrepreneurship better now than since I've come across CU Boulder. So I want to thank the various deans and professors in the room, Brad and everyone else for making that happen. And then lastly, what I see is real businesses. I mean, real businesses. You look at the finals today, what they presented, some of them already have revenue, they have significant momentum, they raised money. These are real businesses, and that takes a while for a New Venture Challenge program to kind of grow to the point where the finals feature businesses that have substance, have momentum, have talent, are doing something real special. I'm glad I'm not in the seat of the judges because this is going to be a hard one to figure out.
They're not back yet, which is unbelievable. By the way, their cue is that they're going to come out when they're done. So we're going to tap dance until we see them. And I've been around one of Brad's partners, Jason, where right now he would be kicking me under the table because he gets impatient in meetings after 15 minutes. Let's talk about future a little bit. So, Brad, I know the Boulder thesis, you're constantly thinking about a 20-year arc. As you look out from 2018 to 2038, and that's advanced math for me to do that 20-minute, what do you see the role of CU and the Boulder community, and where do you see the Boulder scene going in the coming 20 years in terms of that perspective?
I'm not sure that I know where humanity is going over the next 20 years. But I think that there's an essential component of it that spans across generations, right? 20 years is an interesting number because it's sort of the classical notion of a generation. And the idea that we're sort of 10 years into the NVC, and you think about what the NVC could be in 30 years, is you'll probably have 2 or 3 generations of students overlapping. And a powerful thing to focus on as an institution, not just CU Boulder, not just NVC, but as the broader community, is to make sure that we're really laying down connective tissue between all the people. So somebody who, and you see it with like Fletcher having an award and things like that. One of the things I regret when I reflect on the MIT experience is about early 2000s, when I was back on campus at MIT, I said, hey, do we have like a database of all the companies that have ever gone through this? And the answer was no. And I said, hey, I'll fund like putting together something. And the best anybody came up with was a shitty Wikipedia page, right? And so like, that's not even beginning of price of admission, right? You're building something where 20 years from now, somebody who 10 years ago went through this program is now going to have 20 or 25 or 30 years of experience as an entrepreneur, and you want them connected back into the Boulder community, into CU Boulder, into the entrepreneurial activity that's going on, and making sure that as a community we're continuing to build that wiring into the network, I think, is incredibly powerful. One of the things that's very, very rewarding to me as somebody who's lived in Boulder for 22 years is when I moved here in 1995. By 1996, I'd met a number of people. I didn't know anybody. I knew one person when I moved here, and he moved away pretty quickly. It's not my fault. But today, when I think about people that I know that were entrepreneurs from 1996 in Boulder, when I was in my late 20s, 15 or 20 of them are still very active as entrepreneurs here in Boulder, ranging from the age of mid-40s to late 60s. And there's plenty more that I met, obviously, since then. That idea of it being multi-generational, I think, is so critically important, and CU can really be the hub for that for a lot of the community.
Dan, how about you as you look out over the next... Please do.
She
For
just
those that
cost
could
us
not
some more
hear up
money.
there, as well as to memorialize the obligation here, Nancy Pierce just stood up and said thank you, and she is in for $10,000 as part of that match for next year. Thank you. Krista Marks. Holy cow. We've got 4 Jack Waters. This was not planned. God bless you for starting this. That is awesome.
We'll take it. Are we up to 50?
I think we're at 40.
I'll do 10. That's all 50.
Well, and that's how
Let's
you
get
do
the
it. So
hell off
that's
the
pretty
stage now,
awesome.
How about
So
you?
past the close.
Dan, as you look out, oh my God, that was fun. You look out.
You remember how hard it was to get that first money, that very first year? Nice job, Nancy.
Thank you. How about as you look out to the future and the New Venture Challenge, as well as the dynamic between CU and the role of CU in the Boulder-Denver Front Range community?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the role of the Front Range community, because we have even a more powerful and unique opportunity here in the Front Range that's not unlike the relationship between San Francisco and Palo Alto or Silicon Valley. We have a whole corridor here which represents a whole opportunity to start up and scale businesses of multiple different types, with a long background in the Front Range that dates back to industries like the cable TV industry starting here and many others. So I think we have an opportunity to create not just businesses that are important in the Front Range of Colorado, but businesses that continue to touch all parts of the world. So this is, I think, a big part of it. I think it's a big part of it, introducing more and more people into the ecosystem, seeing us have some success stories that feed other success stories, and just expand across the Front Range. So this is incredible.
I want to add one thing to that, and it's something that one of our judges really took leadership in, somebody that Dan knows well because she worked with Dan for many years, is Stephanie Copeland. And one of the things in the last year and a half that's emerged is this notion of all Colorado, right? Not just the Front Range where we have huge amounts of momentum, but all across Colorado to western Colorado to the eastern plains, et cetera, and trying to spread entrepreneurship to the rest of Colorado. This came also out of a CU Boulder initiative, which initially started as Startup Colorado, which Phil Weiser and I initially started as part of the Obama administration Startup America project. And Stephanie and my partner Seth's actively involved in it, Seth Levine's actively involved in it, and a number of others are now driving this initiative that's a public-private partnership to do the same kinds of things that we've activated on the Front Range, but across all of Colorado. I would encourage people here who have mountain houses or spend time in western Colorado or have family in other parts of Colorado that are interested in supporting entrepreneurship to think about it and to recognize that the roots of this activity still tie back to the CU Boulder and CU system. And it's a very important thing that we on the Front Range can continue to advocate and expand throughout the whole state.
I'm going to check. I believe the judges are ready. I'll double check. Any closing thoughts, Dan? And then Brad. Dan?
Just thank you all that participate. The goal next year is to have every seat filled up and every aisle at standing room only. So thanks for being here, and let's spread the word.
I'll end by saying thanks to Brad for being the OG here, and also from really amplifying the award dynamics. I give Dan and Cindy credit for that. I'm really just tagging along to something that they came up with in terms of the momentum of taking this to the next level. So I just want to honor Dan and Cindy for putting the real energy behind this.
Many thanks to each of you. Please help me thank Brad and Dan. Grace Meadows, take it away.
Check. Sibilance. There we go. Are we okay? Are we good? All right, just under the wire. So here are tonight's results. First of all these teams were amazing. One more round of applause for everybody. It takes a ton to go out and do this in public. I'm sure 98% of us don't ever want to be in this situation, so it takes a ton of courage. All the teams were awesome, deserving, wonderful teams. I know you're back there. Thank you for putting up with us and our stupid questions. And here we go. Without further ado, here's how we're going to roll this out. Let me make sure we got the right list. We do, okay. Yep. And number 5, the 5th place, Cannabis Marketing Association. And we have a check for $2,000. You have a check, Vanna White.
I also just want to point out we had a little bit of a mix-up with the labeling of them, so they're a little crossed out, but they're still good. The check's still good. I'm good for it, I promise.
In 4th place, we've got State Hill and $3,000. In 3rd place, with $5,000, Beauty Book.
Hi, congratulations, guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, we've come down to the top 2. So here's how it's going to work. Let's get them out of here. Come on, the rest of the teams, come on out. Let's make this like really suspenseful. Come on, get out here. I got the microphone, I can make up the rules, so get out here. All right. So here's how it's gonna roll. 1st place, it's gonna get $75,000. 2nd place is gonna get $25,000. Drum roll. All right, thank you. In 1st place tonight, $75,000. Oh, no, I'm doing 2nd place. In 2nd place, for $25,000, Hazel, meaning the winner is Spectrum, $75,000. So with that, thank you everybody for coming. Until next year, $200,000 for next year. The stakes are bigger. Congratulations, Spectrums. Choice. Audience choice.
Yeah.
We forgot one more. Norma.
Woo!
Thank you and good night, I think, unless anyone else has anything else to say. Allie?
Yes. So I have just one quick thing to say. If you guys would like to continue to celebrate, you can go to the Bohemian Beer Garden on 13th and Spruce. They're extending their happy hour pricing for us tonight, so just tell them that you're with CU Boulder and you get happy hour all night. So thank you and have a great night. Thank you so much for coming.